Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now this was incredibly exciting for many reasons, and there was a lot of ups and downs with the emotions, to be honest, for me being a Honda supporter during that race. So yeah, let's get into it, and we're gonna start at the start to start with. Actually, we're going to start at the end. Actually, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start at the end. What an incredible podium! So we had Perez, Vettel and Gasly on the podium. Now, this makes me very happy because there's two Hondas on that podium, so to start with, that makes me incredibly happy. But Perez just drove an exceptional race, and he was keeping up with Max the whole time. He was obviously trying to stay out of his dirty air. Well, it looked that way anyway, like he was just trying to stay out of his dirty air, but keep him on his heels. Excuse me, and it looked like he had the pace to just stay with Max, whether Max was controlling or not, and also the pace to keep Lewis behind. And that's the most important thing, because we haven't seen a Red Bull, say, second driver be able to keep the Mercedes behind. Obviously, Valtteri was out of this race at the start. We'll get into that in a bit. But Hamilton had two Red Bulls to contend with this time, and both of them were better than him, to be honest. And yeah, that's a dynamic we've not really seen a huge amount of this season. So I'm just over the moon for Perez, because yeah, he's had a slightly tricky start to the season, not any more than the other second drivers of Max Verstappen, but he's really come on this weekend, and to get the win. If Verstappen's tyre failure hadn't occurred, then Perez would have probably come second anyway. So he just had an awesome race, and yeah, credit to him. Now let's get on to, this is the controversial one, because this is the tyre failures, and I'm obviously in a I'm in a group chat with a lot of dickheads that I speak to, and we were having a big old argument. I'm saying that these tyre failures should not happen. I mean, Stroll, basically we could have had two fatal accidents there, and they were both due to the tyres. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's not good enough. The argument that my friends were having is that tyre failures happen all the time, and yes, they do happen all the time, but also, if you look back to that season, or the few seasons where we've had no tyre changes in the races, the tyres did not fail. The tyres could have done a whole season, and we're not putting people's lives in jeopardy every single weekend. I mean, Max crashed at nearly 200 miles an hour. I mean, imagine being on the motorway at 70 miles an hour and your tyre blows out. You're going to not be incredibly happy about it, and you're probably going to be quite scared. Now, Max's was happening over 3 times this, and like I was saying, this is my argument. If either of those had been T-boned, which is incredibly likely, depending on the position of the other cars, we would have seen a fatality. Now, these tyre failures are just not good enough, and we need to make the tyres so that they can, yes, you're going to run over some debris and you might have a puncture, but a failure on the straight when you're doing 200 miles an hour is unacceptable in my eyes, and we need to do something. We need to do something, or they need to do something. I'm not going to be doing anything, I just make shitty YouTube videos, but they need to do something to improve that, because we cannot have tyre failures at these incredible speeds and see the drivers crashing into the wall. It's just unacceptable, and it doesn't need to happen. And yeah, like I said as well, all the drivers are using the same cars, so it's not like it's different for someone. It's not like it's a Bridgestone and Michelin like it used to be. All of the drivers are using the same tyres, so if the tyres have to be more durable and make the cars slower to make sure we don't have these incredible crashes at high speeds, then let's do it. And the teams need to work around their car to make that work for them. But safety, in my eyes, is first. We've lost the greatest Formula 1 driver that's ever lived due to a lack of safety. We don't need that to happen again. That's enough on the safety for me, to be honest. because I'm not gonna rant about it. Anyway, the next topic that I want to talk about, and this is, I'm trying not to ramble too much, to be honest, but Hamilton versus the Red Bulls. Now, this is the first time really that we've seen the opposite of what we normally see. We normally see Verstappen having to try and battle the two Red Bulls. This time was the complete opposite, and it was the two Red Bulls that were harassing Hamilton and arguably looked like the quicker car on track. And then we saw that in the pit stops, and I knew that was going to happen because Red Bull could do an alternate strategy. So they forced Hamilton into a stop, and obviously Verstappen looked like he had the faster car than Hamilton anyway, because he was keeping with him, and that proved to be right. So Mercedes had to make that pit stop, and Verstappen obviously then, they had a slow pit stop, let's not forget that, but it was only slightly slow. So Verstappen managed to get in front of him. He put in an insane in-lap and managed to get the distance. And then Perez came in. I thought they would probably leave Perez out for longer, to be honest, because he was on soft tyres. They seemed to be working, and his lap times were incredible. He was obviously pulled in front of Hamilton on those two or three laps that he did. So I thought they would probably leave him out a little bit longer, but then it's the case of, then he's going to possibly beat Verstappen. So Red Bull couldn't have that, so they brought him in. Dubious one with the pit stop, to be honest. Was Perez pit stop slow genuinely, or was it that they just didn't want him to come out in front of Verstappen? Because it would have been close if they hadn't made that slight error. I think it probably only cost them about half a second, but it would have been very close if they hadn't made that mistake with Perez and Verstappen. And I think Red Bull just wanted to avoid that at all costs. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see that. But anyway, going on to Verstappen, because I haven't really mentioned him at all at the minute. Great race from him. Unfortunate with the tyre failure. It's nothing we wouldn't expect from Verstappen, which is why I'm not going into it too much. But yeah, nothing he could do about that with the tyre failure. And let's just hope he comes back strong in the next one. The good thing is that obviously Hamilton didn't get any points anyway, so not only is Verstappen still leading the championship, but Perez is kind of coming into the mix as well. I mean, he's still like 32, something like that, points behind. Thanks, Raw. And but yeah, he's coming into the title picture, and that brings me on to Valtteri. I mean, I don't have any words, to be honest. He's come up, 14th? He got overtaken by not only Raikkonen, but also Giovinazzi in Alfa Romeos. Genuinely got overtaken by them. Had no pace. Wasn't good in qualifying. I mean, Mercedes need a second driver that is going to be contending, because the title challenge is close this year. They need someone that's going to be in that second car and delivering results. And unfortunately, Bottas isn't doing it. Yes, he was looking good at Monaco for the first time in his life, but the car gave up on him. But overall in this season, he is just not... It's not even necessarily the pace, because the qualifying pace that he has seems to be okay until it comes to crunch time. It seems to be something where he just can't deliver when he needs to deliver, and he also can't overtake, and that is not a good recipe for success in Formula 1, unfortunately. So, and I'm just going to put this out there: if I was the Mercedes boss this year, I'd give Bottas a 1 or 2 race notice and say, look, you need to come podium next 2 races, or we're going to put George Russell in and see how he does, because Bottas is not performing well enough. Not like we'd be criticising him if he was finishing top 6 in that car where Hamilton nearly won the race, but he's not. He's come 14th. I mean, and he's been overtaken by 2 Alfa Romeos. I mean, that is just not good enough in a Mercedes. So, obviously loyalty and everything comes into it, but from a business point of view, they need to start making some decisions, or at least think about start making some decisions, because 14th is not good enough from Mercedes in this race. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. McLaren this week, yeah, interesting one. I mean Norris, I think he ended up getting 5th, but obviously that was due to attrition. Ricciardo not doing a huge amount either. It just wasn't a good weekend for McLaren this weekend. Norris seems to be slightly the faster driver, but Ricciardo did put in a slight performance this weekend. But yeah, there's not really a huge amount to say about McLaren apart from it just wasn't a good weekend for them, to be honest. So Sebastian Vettel, now he's obviously come. I can't believe that I'm leaving out until this long. I apologise to everyone, to be honest, because he deserved to be much higher up in the video. What performance from Sebastian! I mean, he's obviously finished second. Not the greatest of qualifying, but yeah, he did a job. But to come second in that kind of race, obviously there was quite a lot of luck involved. But he also drove that car incredibly well, and he was looking quick all weekend. He overtook Fernando Alonso, even though we never got to see it. The directors obviously choosing not to play any overtakes this weekend, but excuse me again. But yeah, Sebastian Vettel doing a fantastic job. Lance Stroll's crash, that was scary. Yeah, that looked really scary. Obviously, I've slightly alluded to it with the tyre failure thing, but yeah, Lance Stroll's crash, very scary. Yeah, that did not look nice at all. What was he, probably going nearly 200 there, maybe 160, something like that. But I mean, I would poo myself if I was on the motorway doing that speed, like I said. So yeah, not nice at all for him. And the back of the grid, obviously Mick Schumacher doing a great job annihilating Mazepin. He decided to do a pizza delivery at whatever turn it was. Yeah, the Williams looking good. What happened to Latifi? I can't remember what happened to Latifi in the end. Something happened to Latifi, but yeah. Anyway, the back of the grid, unfortunately we don't get to see much of it, so you have to be proper nut to experience the back of the grid. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the tennis. If you didn't enjoy my content, which I don't blame you for, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in the next one, and I'll be slightly less rambly. There was just so much to talk about in this one, so thank you.